I'm in a garden in suburban Brisbane, and like many gardens around the country, this one has a raised veggie bed. It's about the size of a large round dinner table, about 1.8 metres wide. Typically, raised beds are made of metal, plastic or wood, and they're generally around 50 centimetres in height. Raised beds are popular for three really good reasons. They're raised, which means they provide easy access for people of all abilities. Even I don't like bending all day long in the garden. And if you've got no soil or really bad soil, it's easy to fill these with premium planting mix. And of course, once they're in production, they can look beautiful. This bed is 12 years old and it's strategically located where it gets 8 hours sunshine, excellent ventilation, and it's on a mound, so it has perfect drainage. But they're not a set and forget proposition. Raised beds are often filled with soils with a high proportion of organic matter. Think composts and manures. These are really good for improving the soil and for helping vegetables to grow. But the more organic matter you add, the more likely it is that the soil level will slump as that matter decomposes, especially if you garden in a warm climate. And as that soil slumps, then you lose some of the air pockets which help vegetables to grow. You can see the level on the side of this bed where the soil has sunk about a finger's depth. This creates an environment that's hard for plants to grow in. So I'm going to show you how to freshen up a tired old raised vegetable bed and return it to its productive glory. The first step is to remove past crops. There's some lettuce, capsicum and basil still good to eat. Plus, there's heaps of basil seed to harvest. The rest can be composted. To raise the soil level, I'm going to use two inputs. Premium composts like this will provide nutrients to your plants while building humus in the soil as it breaks down. This compost contains cow and chicken manure, fish and seaweed, blood and bone. I'm also using actual soil, and for a bed this size, I'm adding 100 litres of compost and 100 litres of soil. Sometimes purchased soils, manures and composts can be highly alkaline, and that's why having a soil pH test kit to hand can be really useful. You take a very small amount for the test. The ideal pH range is 6.5 to 7. And while you're at it, you might as well test the pH of the soil itself. I did this yesterday, and as it happens, this is pH 6.5. It's slightly acidic, the gardener's holy grail. It's perfect for fruit, vegetables, herbs and spices. While the chemistry is not ideal, I'm hoping by mixing all three together and leaving them for 3 weeks before planting, they should achieve an acceptable balance. Now it's time to sow and plant. In this bed grew capsicum in the Solanaceae family and basil in the Lamiaceae family. Now, even though this is a small bed, crop rotation is still an important way of managing pests and diseases. So this time, I won't be planting either of those families. I'm starting with carrot. This is a variety called Kuroda, which is very good in the subtropics. It doesn't mind our short, warm winters, and I'm mixing this seed with sand, and that makes it much easier for me to broadcast over a large area and get the seed sown thinly. Now what's going to happen is the carrots will start to grow up in between the other vegetables that are still to go in, and as they grow you can thin them out, and those first baby carrots, they become your first crop. Now the next thing is to put some chopped sugar cane on. Now I like to put this on very thinly, it's just a veneer. And that makes a big difference. It keeps the soil cool and moist. The carrot seedlings can burst their way through it without any problems. And I find it so much easier to plant seedlings through the mulch rather than mulching around the seedlings. I'm also planting seedlings of butterhead lettuce, triple curled parsley, and I'm splitting these spring onions in half. I'm going to use these cucumbers to take advantage of the available space. I'm going to plant them around the outside and let them spill over the edges. Now that means the leaves will give some passive shading, some cooling to a raised garden bed. Raised beds often suffer from heat. They can become heat sinks and cook the contents, particularly if they're coated with something which is dark or made out of metal. So these cucumbers are making good use of the space and providing a bit of air conditioning. Even a small bed can have biologically active soil. So I'm adding soldier fly larvae, Serenum cockroaches, red wriggler worms and carpet prawns taken from my own compost. Well, these aren't here just for show. They're to improve the ecology of this very small ecosystem. And now they can carry on doing their good work, adding life to soil. Job done. If you've got a neglected raised bed, now's the time to rejuvenate it and get it back into production.